Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Patience. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys how I made this beautiful bias cut skirt with a back elastic waist. Before we get started, kindly click the subscribe button. If you have done that, let's get into it. I'll be using this fabric for this tutorial. It is 3 yards and I'll be drafting on this pattern paper. I've gone ahead to mark my waistline. I'll be marking my shoulder to hip point, which is 9 inches. And I'll mark my waist to the full length of this skirt, which is going to be 40 inches. Here on the pattern, I have about 35 inches. So I'll be adding the remaining 5 inches on the fabric. I've marked that out, so I'll be adding a waist dart to this skirt. So I'll mark half of my bust span measurement, which is 4 inches. I'll be adding half inch for sewing allowance, that is 4.5 inches. So I'll mark that on the waistline and the hip line. So I'll be using 1 inch on my dart, so I'll mark half inch on both sides and create my dart. After doing that, I'll mark quarter of my waist circumference, which is 9 inches. Plus this 1 inch for that is 10, plus 1 inch for side seam, that is 11. And on the hip line, I'll mark quarter of my hip circumference plus 1 inch for side seam. So what I have here on the hip line is 12 inches. I'll be adding extra 5 inches to that. Okay, that is 17 inches. And I'll connect it this way. I'll mark the midpoint of this 17 inches and connect it to the dart this way. So I'll be taking in the dart, and when I take in the dart, I'll have my exact quarter of my waist circumference plus 1 inch for side seam. So this is the front piece. Now for the back piece, remember this skirt is not going to have a zipper. I'll be attaching an elastic band to the back piece, so I need extra allowance on the back for the elastic band. After taking in the dart on the back piece, I'll be adding extra 2 inches on the waistline, or you can mark quarter of your hip circumference plus 1 inch for side seam, that is on the back piece. So this is because of the elastic band I am going to be attaching on the back piece. So after doing that, I'll just connect it to the hip line this way. So I'll be doing this on my fabric for the back piece. Now for the front piece, I'll go ahead and cut it out. I'll take out the dart and I'll join it back and secure it. I'll be doing a slash and spread on my fabric and I'll be cutting this part out on fold. Okay. Remember I said I'll be using 3 yards of fabric for this skirt, so this is half of the 3 yards, that is 1.5 yards. So I'll be folding this 1.5 yards on bias, as you can see me do. And I am going to place my pattern aligning the folded edge. I'll use 5 inches for the spread. Okay, remember I cut out 35 inches length, so I'll be adding the extra 5 inches. So I'll make that 6 plus 1 inch for hemming allowance and cut it out, adding half inch on the waist. This is what we have. After adding the 6 inches, I connected it straight on the side seam, as you can see. So you can even add extra inches on the side seam if you want it to really open. So this is the front piece. I'll be using this as a pattern to cut out the back. I've gone ahead to place the front piece on the back piece. As you can see, I folded the back piece also on bias. So I'm using the remaining 1.5 yards. So make sure to align the folded edges. Okay, so this is the waistline and the hip line. I'll just go ahead and extend the lines to the back piece. Remember I said I'll be adding extra 2 inches because of the elastic band. So I'll add the 2 inches and connect it to the hip line this way, as you can see me do. So that is it for the back piece. I'll go ahead and cut it out. So this is what we have. As you can see, the back is bigger than the front. just on the waist and the hip area, and the other parts are the same. So this is what we have. Like I said, I'll be attaching an elastic band on the back piece, so it's going to give the back waist its shape. The next thing I am going to do is to join the front and the back pieces. So I'll place the right sides this way, align the side seams. I'll be sewing by 1 inch for the side seam. I've done that, and this is what it looks like. I'm going to measure the front and the back pieces. Remember, the front piece is the exact half of the waist circumference, and the back is half of the waist circumference plus the extra inches. Now I'll be cutting out the band for the front and the back pieces. So I've done that. This is the band. The length of the band is 1.5 inches and the width is 15 inches. So I took out 3 inches from half of my waist circumference. The length of the band on fold is 2 inches. I'll be using ½ inch for sewing allowance. Okay, and the width is what I measured plus 1 inch for side seam. I'll be using ½ inch on both sides. Also on the front band, I added extra 1 inch for sewing allowance. I added an interfacing on the band, as you can see. Now I'll place the elastic band on the edge this way and sew on ½ inch on the edge and also on the other edge this way, as you can see me do. So after doing that, I'll sew on ½ inch. Make sure you're not sewing on top of the elastic band. So this is what it looks like after doing that. I'll go ahead and adjust the gathers. Okay, now I am going to be attaching the front band. To do that, I am going to place the right sides this way, aligning the folded edges this way, as you can see me do, and I will sew on ½ inch on the opened edges. After doing that, this is what it is going to look like. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Place the right sides together this way, align the folded edges and sew on ½ inch on the opened edges. I've done that, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, the back band with the elastic. Now I am going to be attaching it to the skirt. Starting with the front piece, I'll align the side seams, placing the right sides this way. As you can see, I'll pin it down. After doing that, I'll join by ½ inch. Also on the back piece, I will stretch the elastic band to fit. So I'll make sure not to sew on the elastic band. And I will hem. I've done that, and this is how beautiful it came out. Now on the back piece, remember after joining the band we have 1.5 inches, so I stretched the band and stitched on 3/4 inch to keep the band in place. As you can see, we have come to the end of this tutorial. If this was helpful to you, kindly give this video a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Kindly click on the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.